Hi, my name's Krish Kandiah, President of London School of Theology, and walking with you through 1 Kings. We're not able to look at every single verse, but just some big ideas and themes that are kind of running through. Today we're going to look again at the story of Rehoboam, and Rehoboam was the lad that decided to up the ante when King Solomon died and had the opportunity to unite Israel. Israel, the northern kingdom, and Judah, the southern kingdom, could have been one, but he missed his opportunity because of his pride and anger, and so he's now just in charge of Judah. He was 41 according to verse 21 of chapter 14 of 1 Kings. He was 41 years old when he became king, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city the Lord had chosen out of all the tribes of Israel in which to put his name. But sadly, the people of Israel are committing sin after sin after sin. They're going after other gods. They're doing all sorts of things, setting up high places in which to worship false gods. It's even talking about male prostitution and people engaged in all sorts of detestable practices of the nations the Lord had driven out before the Israelites. That's ironic, isn't it? That God had given Israel the land of Canaan. And part of that was a judgment on the way that the people, the Canaanites, had been living that dishonoured God. But now Israel have fallen into the same kind of trap, same kind of patterns of life. And so we see now that the judgment of God is beginning to come to Israel for the way they've treated God. Have a look at verse 25. In the 5th year of King Rehoboam, Shishak, king of Egypt, attacked Jerusalem. He carried off the treasures of the temple of the Lord and the treasures of the royal palace. He took everything, including all the gold shields Solomon had made. So King Rehoboam made bronze shields to replace them and assigned these to the commanders of the guard on duty at the entrance to the royal palace. He was seeing that God is not protecting Israel because Israel had been unfaithful to him. And so he's allowing enemy invaders to come in and to steal. And this kind of little vignette, a little cameo picture of what's going on, is that the gold that God had allowed Solomon and before him King David to amass, when God's blessing was with them, is now robbed and taken away, and they're replacing it with a cheap metal, bronze, that's seem just not as good and not as nice. And maybe people think that if they leave God to worship other things or to follow other dreams, life is going to get richer and fuller. But I guess in this little cameo picture here, you see the verdict actually. Life becomes less worthwhile, less valuable without honouring the God of Israel. And so again, I guess all through Kings, since this division of the north to the south, Israel seems to be getting worse and worse, and you might be able to guess where this is going to go. God had promised what would happen if Israel continued in disobedience way back in the story of the Exodus, what happens just before they entered the land. They said, if you go and worship other gods, this land will spit you out, vomit you out, it says in some translations. And we're beginning to get a little hint about why that might be, even in this little chapter here about Rehoboam. Keep going through 1 Kings. It's great to get the whole Bible under your belt.